Welcome to this week's edition of the Sports Scoop Coaches Show. Joining me is my right-hand man, Old Faithful, slowed by a train, Ted Hammond.
Don't even bring it up. Let's go.
Let's get right into football, because this is football season, and all the college games yesterday and all the pro games coming up today, but we had high school football Friday night, and the Blue Jays travel up to Jordan for the first time in many years, maybe ever in football, I don't know.
I've never been there.
And what a setup the Jordan Hubmen have. Artificial turf, locker rooms underneath the stands. It's like a small college atmosphere, isn't it? You come out of the tunnel, actually, and it's really gorgeous.
Except for the rain, it was a great experience.
Yeah.
Great experience.
The Jays prevailed 22-0. Outstanding job by their defense Friday night. That's their fourth win in 5 starts, 4-1 for the Jays. And Teddy, I guess it was a kind of a Brad Wentland type game. Let your defense dominate and power the ball at them.
That's exactly what we did. Except for the turnovers, it was a pretty good game.
Yeah, exactly. Not a lot of offense, but as you mentioned, steady drizzle throughout the game made the ball tough to handle. And the Jays did enough to put some points on the board.
You should try to do the play calling. See, we do it. I script the play calling for Coach Wendland, and so I got a hooded thing that Dave Abel had for track. It's kind of like a clipboard with a hood on it. So you're trying to get your hand under there, and then it gets fogged up, and then you got water everywhere, and you're trying to keep the paper dry, and it was a terrible night. Terrible night for me.
Well, our defense really performed well. I thought there was 4 or 5 kids that just had excellent games. Ben Clayton, Dylan Winiger, Hank Hagan were all outstanding. Jack, again, as a linebacker.
Boy, he loves the blitz, doesn't he?
Yeah. I said right away on the radio, this is a linebacker's dream, because they know Jordan can't throw the ball, and those horses are pawing at the line to come on every play.
Yeah, big Clydesdale, just kind of, and then away they go, boy.
Offensively, Teddy, Jack had another 100-yard rushing game, but he had a couple big runs at the end, which cemented that, and Doofy was right around the 100-yard mark, so we continue to move the ball well on the ground.
It was an uneasy game. I mean, we went right down the opening kickoff and fumbled on the 1-yard line. I thought, Mother Nature, she's the equalizer.
The great equalizer.
Yep, and then Jack lost one, and I'm thinking, geez, we never see him fumble, and it was not a good night for ball carrying, but then the ball got heavy after it gets wet for so long. So we're glad to just get out of there with the win.
Yeah. 22-0 as we mentioned. The Jays are 4-1. They have homecoming coming up this week, and New Ulm Eagles come to town 0-5, and the biggest task for you as the coaches are going to be not looking at that 0-5 and convincing your team they have to play the game.
No, it's homecoming.
Well, yeah, that goes without saying.
Ever since I've been here, I don't know how many we've won, but we've lost way more than we won in homecoming, because it's just the distraction and especially you got a team like New Ulm coming in where they're getting throttled every week like 40, 50 to nothing or 6 or whatever. You just hope the kids keep their heads on straight and we don't get any shenanigans or tomfoolery out there where you got to go out, toilet paper somebody's house and it escalates to something else. And homecoming week can be a great week, or it can be really for a coach's nightmare.
The Eagles lost 55-6 to Belle Plaine on Friday night, and they are, as we mentioned, 0-5 for the year.
Yep. So just don't look past them.
Got to play the games.
Yeah, we got to play the game.
The big matchup in the area on Friday night was WEM and Maple River, both ranked in the top 10 in their respective classes. WEM prevails 20-7 at Waterville, where they seldom lose at Waterville, do they?
Well, what do they have down in Florida? The Swamp?
Yep.
Well, they kind of have that up there in Waterville, no offense, but that field is definitely a home field advantage.
Yep, they play well there.
You got one corner of the end zone where the fences come together, and you're not careful. If you're on the quarter pattern, you end up in the middle of the fence.
And the other end zone is 7.5 yards long. So, yeah. But the Bucks keep rolling. They're 5-0 now, Teddy. Another good year shaping up for John Bach and Jeff Wagner's crew.
Yep.
They play Sibley East on the road Friday. Sibley East is only 1-4 for the year. So the Bucks will be heavily favored, I think, to complete an 8-0 regular season.
The Buck train is gaining momentum, baby.
They are. NRHEG, Dan Starks, Grant Airberg, Big John Schultz, all the boys, they are now 4-1 after defeating that Sibley East team that Waterville will play this week, 34-19. And I think at one time it was 34-0, and Sibley East made a little run late in the game, which probably has the coaches all up in arms. But
No,
they don't get excited over that.
if you're a good coach, you get your reserves in there when you got a comfortable lead and let those kids get playing experience, because down the road and come playoff time, you don't know if somebody's going to get hurt, but you need to get those reserves some playing time.
The Panthers, as we mentioned, 4-1 for the year. They'll be at home this week. LeSueur Henderson, home of Joel Hayford, comes to town. The Giants are 2-2 this year.
Who'd you say? Joel Hayford.
Joel Hayford. Remember he used to sit over here on the other side?
What's he look like?
Well, he's turned double deuces yesterday.
Double nickels.
Double nickels yesterday.
Say double deuces.
Double nickels yesterday. 5'5" now, so the hair's starting to get gray like yours.
55.
Yep.
I wish he'd show up so we could see what it looks like.
I know it.
Yeah.
I know it. He, I think they had a teacher celebration on Friday night. He still looked a little pale this morning. So
That milk.
Yeah.
That does it to you.
It'll do it. The Panthers at home, as we mentioned. LeSueur Henderson comes to town Friday. JWP are struggling.
Oh,
and
man.
Right now, Teddy,
I've got an apology to make.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
We stated last week on the air that Tom Gannon was disqualified for unsportsmanlike conduct. Not true.
Not true.
Tom Gannon got knocked in the head and had to go through the concussion tests, which he passed, I understand, but head coach Joe Joyce held him out for the remainder of the game. And our source was KRFO Radio in Otana, who was broadcasting the game, and they're the ones that stated that Gannon was ejected for unsportsmanlike. But our mistake, we apologize, Tommy and Joe and all the Bulldogs. It was not true. JWP moved on, and it's going to be a tough year, I'm afraid, for the Bulldogs, because winless St. Clair and JWP played Friday. St. Clair had scored 10 points in their first 4 games.
Yep.
And go on and defeat JWP 25-12 Friday. That's a big rivalry game, but
They've been having trouble with stopping the rush.
they're having trouble on defense. Yep.
And the Shrewen guy from Cyclones, he rushed for like 150 yards, and he ruined the game for JWP. But then at the same time, JWP, Josh Janicki is out, the quarterback.
Yep,
He's sprained his ankle really bad, and he's had bad ankles since I've known him. And he was still on crutches during the week. I went over to visit Joey, see how we're doing. I found out about Gannon, and so I said, hey, we'll apologize on the air. But, that wasn't a good one to go down to.
The Bulldogs are 1-4, and they have Faribault Bethlehem Academy coming to town Friday, and the Cards are 4-1 this year. So it's going to be another tough test
We'll
for JWP.
take down the Crusaders. That's what we're going to do. We're going to crusade. Okay.
Teddy can't stump me this week because I did a little detective work during the week and found out JV and C score, so he can't papa me off anymore.
What's papa? Poo-poo.
Poo-poo, papa.
You got a poo-poo platter. Yeah, papa platter. You go to a Chinese restaurant, jeez.
Teddy's 9th grade Blue Jay football team is 4-0 this season. They defeated Belle Plaine last week, 44-6.
Oh, a nightmare.
Nightmare.
Yeah, we had to have the B and C squad go on the same bus.
Oh.
And then we had to sit around and wait for the B squad
One
to play.
game, then the other.
And then we said get home about 10 o'clock at night. We should have been home by 7 on a school night for my freshman boys. They're youngsters yet, making the big swing out to high school. It was ridiculous. But it was fun.
4-0.
I got to tell you real quick. They gave us 5 minutes to warm up. We were late getting there. And that's another thing I always say. We went to Marshall last year, and they gave us like 10 minutes to warm up. So we had 5 minutes to warm up, which is just like a Chinese fire drill. So we get out there, they kick off, boom, we run the kickoff back 75 yards. Malik Williamson takes her to the house right away, and I said, good, this is the way it should be. Good. That was fun.
The JV team, they are now 3-1. A good fall season for Waseca football. They defeated Belle Plaine 14-6.
And their only loss is to Marshall.
Right.
Yep. They were down 6-0 going into the fourth quarter. All of a sudden, they just said, we're not losing this ball game. And Belle Plaine had a pretty good B squad, so... but the thing was, you looked over at the Belle Plaine sideline, they had like on the freshman team, they had 14 guys, and they had 14 or 15 guys on the B squad, so they're hurting for numbers coming up. And they got like 20 seniors on the varsity this year. So, they did somewhat to recruit.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. And B and 9th grade played Jordan this week.
Correct. They're always a week behind the varsity,
Yep.
whatever and then the varsity is away, then we're at home, so we get to be at home And we'll tear up the field just in time for homecoming. That'll be fun.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to volleyball in our area. Hey, the Waseca Blue Jays got their first win of the year for their new coach, Teddy.
Boy, and 2 of them were in what? What do you call it? Extra time or overtime? When they go over 25?
5 game. Oh, yeah.
Because it's
I
like
guess.
28,
Yeah.
26,
Yep.
26, 24, 2 of the game victories. So the overall victory hinged on those 2 games.
They lost to St. Peter and Fairmont during the week and defeated New Ulm for their first conference win. They are 1-6 for the year.
Ole, 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 ole. That's New Ulm's favorite cheer. I'll just throw it right back at him. Ole, 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 ole.
Well, you're warmed up.
I am on. That train just torqued me off.
Monday they play St. James. The WEM Express in volleyball. Crystal Lamont's crew,
We got to come up with a name for them.
they just keep on rolling. The big green slimy machine.
I don't know if that's a good name. Sorry, girls.
12
We're sorry,
and
girls.
12-0 for the year.
Apologize again.
The Bucks defeated TCU and Maple River during the week. Tuesday, they play at Faribault BA, the big
The
battle.
big matchup.
That will be a good one.
But you got this, Cameron Kendall, you got Kate Mossberg, you got the little Harmon girl.
Yep.
And they all come in with kills. But I want to mention a couple from Waseca. We
Okay.
didn't give any names. Okay. We had the 2 Madison girls. Names hadn't been shown up, but Madison Galoff and Madison Olsom. And they combined for about 23 kills or something like that. I don't remember exactly. But, hey, we got some stuff coming up here. But, geez, there's going to be a Donnybrook.
Yeah.
Old Franz will be just smiling.
Yep.
He doesn't even get excited. I don't know if you ever seen him coach volleyball.
Yeah.
Basketball, he's up
Yeah.
the sidelines going out chewing on the officials, but volleyball, he just has a clipboard.
Yeah.
Kind of holds it up and he puts his hand behind it and says, "This is who we're going to serve to." He has a girl's numbered on the other side, so he knows who the weakest girl is. And he just go hit it number 3 there, okay? Bam, hit number 3. Bam, point. It's fun to watch. It is fun to watch.
NRHEG, the Panthers are now 6-4 for the year. They defeated LeSueur Henderson and lost to Medford during the week. And I understand Medford is undefeated in volleyball this year. So evidently the Tigers have a pretty good outfit in
indeed.
volleyball.
Okay.
NRHEG went to the big Mankato West tournament yesterday and went 2-2 there, finished in 4th place. So 6-4 overall for the Panther girls.
And that was a good test for them to go over there and meet some better competition.
Tuesday, they traveled to Blooming Prairie for a Gopher Conference matchup. And JWP, the Bulldogs are 3-3 in volleyball right now. They lost to St. Clair during the week, but won 3-0 against Loyola.
Yeah, Loyola's got a pretty good team.
Pretty good squad.
That Thunut girl is a big basketball
Yep.
player. Yep.
Excellent. Tuesday, the Bulldogs will be at Truman. So there's your volleyball wrap-up.
Blue Jays. Truman Blue Jays.
Cross-country teams. Of course, we never hear anything from Waterville, Janesville, or NRHEG, so any of you coaches out there want to text Teddy or I with your cross-country results, we'll be glad to get them on. The Blue Jays were up at the Hutchinson Invitational this week, Teddy. The boys, another good showing. 2nd place out of 9 teams, and a lot of big teams there. Cole Strike finished 3rd out of 60 runners.
Kid's coming on.
He's coming on, isn't he?
He still hasn't.
Reminds you of someone, doesn't he? Starting to.
That name sounds familiar.
I never ran. You talking about my cross-country days?
No.
Oh, okay.
And the girls finished 6th out of 11 teams there. Their top finisher was Courtney Kulseth. She finished 14th out of 74 runners.
Uh-oh.
So the Jays are having an excellent year in cross-country again. They will run at Burnsville this week on Thursday. WEM/JWP will be running at the Panther Invite in New Richland, and that is Tuesday for a number of teams in the area, smaller teams that run at that one.
If any of you ever see Coach Meyer out there on the trail, he's always on his bike.
Yep.
So it's kind of fun to watch. The kids are running their tail ends off, and there he is just pedaling his bike. Just, come on, go harder, go harder. But
Those hips get kind of as the weather turns cold, they creak a little. So you can still turn them on the bike, Teddy, but they don't really work for running
I
anymore.
don't know how many hips he's had replaced, but it's not
I think
fun.
both.
Does he?
I
Okay.
think so. Our tennis team, Kyle Collins' crew, they are 7-2 overall. They defeated Rochester Century early in the week. Then yesterday they went up to Buffalo, and although the matches don't count on your one loss, because they play 4 singles and 4 doubles, the Jays actually lost to all 3 teams there.
Yep. Saw that.
They finished 4th out of the 4 teams.
I think
And
Ella Seehafer took
was
third
their
or no,
second.
second.
She was their top finisher at 3rd singles.
Right.
So the Jays will be Monday at Blue Earth, 7-2 so far this year. And our soccer teams, the boys right now are 5-2, Teddy. They defeated Fairmont during the week and then got beat by New Ulm on Friday. Tuesday they will be at St. Peter. Our girls...
The weather in soccer can, that can just change a game so quickly.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say.
Okay.
Okay.
The girls soccer team, they are 5-4-1 for the year. They lost to Lourdes early in the week and defeated Fairmont. Tuesday they will have St. Peter at home.
Okay.
So pretty good fall seasons for most of our local teams in the area that we cover so far. Football's been excellent.
I think fall does start this week, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think Wednesday.
Okay, that's good.
I will be heading up later this afternoon, Teddy, to my annual trek over to Christmas Mountain in the Dells for our 2 days of 36-hole-a-day marathon golf, Monday and Tuesday.
You lucky bum.
And Mr. Hayford is upgrading this year to a brand new driver, so he's leaving me his white one to take over to Christmas Mountain on a trial run.
Whoa, jeez, well.
He promised me Airberg that it would give me at least 5 more yards per drive, so that'll be up to 185 now if I hit it solid.
You talking about your weight or your
Drive.
Oh, drive. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's watching the Ponderosa?
The captain's in charge, so don't get any
You
ideas.
probably shouldn't be doing this on the air,
Yeah.
okay? Just people
Andy,
out
you might
there
have to
saying-
swing out and make a few checks to help me out.
Yeah, you might have to get a shotgun, okay? Now people know Coogie's going to be gone, okay?
Well, let's get into the big scene, Teddy. And, of course, I know first and foremost you want to talk about those Minnesota Twins.
Oh, okay. I was going to talk about the Packers. Well, I hate to do this, okay? But we got a prop today, and you can probably see that's a Twins jersey. But, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to say this, but I think Cinderella just turned into a pumpkin, okay? I've been supporting them all year, but I think it reached midnight, especially yesterday.
Well, I know exactly when it reached midnight for you.
When was
when
that?
Mike Pelfrey couldn't get the win.
No, it reached when they lost that 12-inning game when Jefferson came in, and all he had to do was hold on to a 3-2 lead in the 9th inning, and they ended up losing to Detroit in 12. I said, uh-oh, this isn't good.
The Twins have lost 5 in a row at home.
At home. And they had one of the best records in the bigs at home. Yep. So I think all of a sudden reality set in, hey, we got a chance maybe to be in the playoffs. But they're still, one game behind the Angels.
Well, it is fun to still be playing baseball with 14 games left and still have a chance.
Still have a chance, but the Angels now, I think they've won 7 or 8 in a row at Target Field.
Yep.
So today's big game. I mean, Sunday we got to break that 5-game losing streak. They go down 6 games in a row. Yep. I think we can probably take a fork and put it in here too. Yep. But pumpkin, Cinderella. It was fun while it lasted.
It was fun.
Yeah.
MSU Mankato finally got their offense back on track a little yesterday. 48-0 over Mary to remain undefeated.
Let's throw a little vinegar in there. Okay. The quarterback gave up 3 interceptions. Okay, they still got those 2 guys trading off, Olsen and Pure Cooney. But, they rushed
Lloyd.
Lloyd, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Senior moment.
No, it was a post-senior moment. Anyhow, it was fun to see them. They needed Mary College to come in there and do what they did to them. It worked.
The Gusties, they are also undefeated, and they had a shootout last night.
Did they hang on?
Up at Hamlin, win 42-35.
They're at 42-21, and then all of a sudden it's 42-35, and they were holding on. But they won.
Gusties have a high-powered offense this year. Mitch Hendricks, the quarterback, and 2 brothers that
the Boyce brothers
catch 6, 7, 8, 9 passes apiece each game.
I think they had 15. I was looking at the paper.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. The Gusties, I think they have homecoming coming up this week, and Augsburg comes to town.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's Bruce Westman's alma mater.
Yes, it is.
Augies,
You are right.
Yep.
The Gophers. Oh, the mighty, mighty Gophers just annihilated Kent State yesterday, Teddy, 10-7. I know what you're going to say.
No,
all that matters is that you win.
When all is said and done, you only have to win by 1. They won by 3, okay? So it's a big, big win. But, my God, that one defensive back, I never got his name, but when he stripped the ball, and then in one turn, he had the ball right in his cradle in his arm, and boom, he's heading the other way.
Yeah.
He was one unbelievable player. But
well, somebody commented he will be one of the top picks in the draft.
Really?
Yeah,
well, I tell you what, he showed it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the Gophers didn't allow them over, midfield until they had a penalty. Had to get a 15-yard penalty for them to get over the midfield line. So the defense obviously won the ball game for them. But you should do better than that against Kent State. Good grief.
Right now, it's a woeful offense, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just struggling to find some
But
rhythm. And
if you look at Leitner's stats yesterday.
yeah, the stats look fine.
Yeah, but
17 out of 27 for 180.
There's just no flow to the
nothing,
offense. No.
Nothing. And I understand that yesterday they had the freshman kid that hasn't been in a game warming up on the sidelines, taking snaps from the first string center. So evidently Kill was thinking about it. That I'm sure it was, this game is really too close to put a guy in this situation.
Well, how about Ohio State, Northern Illinois?
Some great college games yesterday, wasn't there?
You know, they had to replace the quarterback that was the most valuable player last year in the championship game, and he can't do anything yesterday. So thank God you got a guy named J.T. Barrett come in. Ohio State struggled. A lot of teams struggled yesterday.
Alabama goes down last night on their home field where they never lose.
And Missouri hung on for a 3-point win, and Nebraska came storming back and then lost in overtime. There's some good games yesterday.
Mississippi scored 43 points against Alabama, which is always one of the best defenses in the nation.
Yeah, but that was like 30 points less than they scored.
They had scored in the 70s in the first 2 weeks.
So they really came down.
Then last night, Teddy, it was 12:30 at night, and I still couldn't go to bed because I found BYU and UCLA, and BYU's leading virtually most of the game and end up losing 24-23 to UCLA.
Well, there's another one, USC and Stanford. There's another
Stanford dominated USC, and they were like 6th in the nation. So you got to love college football because it's like that every week.
Upset City.
Yep. And finally, we got to talk about
the Packers?
The mighty Packers.
We're going to talk about the Vikings.
Well, we'll put them as far back as we can.
But can I talk about one positive pro team?
Sure.
The Lynx.
Okay.
They won their first playoff game. Maya Moore had 33. They beat the L.A. Sparks by 2. They got that Candace Parker, who's probably one of the best players in the league. So at least we got one team that's doing well professionally in Minnesota. It's kind of nice to see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The Packers opened with a 31-23 win over the Bears.
The Bears.
The hated Bears. And all they do is play the late night game tonight against Seattle.
Yep.
Who is in a must-win situation in game number 2.
I haven't heard that Sherman guy spouting off at all.
Not a word.
He's always spouting off about, don't throw to me or don't throw at my side because you're going to get intercepted, boy, or whatever. You don't hear too much from that guy anymore.
Nope.
Okay.
What did you think of the Packers opener, Teddy?
I was kind of like Aaron Rodgers is in a class by himself. And I'm not bragging or anything, but there's a Sports Illustrated article on this week. If anybody out there, you don't like the guy, just read the article. It might change your mind a little bit, but he just can exploit. He just looks and knows exactly where to go to, and without, missing Jordy Nelson, and that's the big part of that. Also, all of a sudden he comes up with this guy, Jones, who played with the Packers, knew the offense, walks in, and then gets, 2 touchdown passes, and the guy doesn't miss a beat. He's analytical. He just dissects the defense and picks it apart, but defense didn't, they keep talking about that defense. It's so tough, and I've never convinced of that. But as long as you got Jay Cutler, boy, what a poor whipping boy. I'd hate to be that guy.
I watched most of that game, Ted, and truthfully, the Bears were much better than I thought they would be.
And I think they were surprised how well they were playing.
I thought they played pretty well.
Yeah, they did. But then Cutler at the end, he gets the interception, and the guy gets just fried by the media. I feel sorry for the guy. He can't win.
And finally, the Vikes, Teddy.
Yep.
Of all the games I watched Saturday and Sunday and Monday last week, I can say without doubt that the Vikings were the worst team that I saw.
Oh my gosh! And
you lost 20
to positivity too.
They lost 20-3 to San Francisco, and there was nothing that you could get excited about. Their offense was terrible. Their defense was terrible. Their new improved defense that this year we spent all our time on, we aren't going to let teams run the ball against us.
What did Hyde get?
Well, he had over 100, and they rushed for about 2 1/4.
Well, I think they showed that Peterson had, 31 carries and 10, or not 30, 31 yards and 10 carries, and his Hyde had 150 or whatever.
And now, I know it's easy to second guess, but now maybe we've spent the week talking about how he was rusty. Maybe we could have put him in a few preseason games to get rid of some of that rust.
Well, he said he's really sore because he hadn't had any contact. I'm thinking, well, yeah, why wait till the first game to get sore?
And granted, the offensive line was terrible, but Peterson didn't run like Peterson. He was tippy-toeing. He was hesitant. Oh, it
wasn't pretty.
It was a hard game to watch. They were so poor.
See, I use the analogy with the Blue Jays, okay? It was like the homecoming queen. She wasn't pretty, but we won, okay? That wasn't pretty, and the Vikings are going to win, yeah.
And
That was late.
Yeah,
And Gerald Hodges, our new middle linebacker, I had to text Don White in the middle of the game and said, did I miss the re-signing of Aaron Henderson? Because the only tackles the guy made were 8 yards down the field. He stopped a guy once for a 5-yard gain, and you would have thought they won the Super Bowl the way he was celebrating.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, you're getting kicked, and you haven't made a tackle all night, and you're going to celebrate over a 5-yard gain.
Yeah. Yep.
So, now, talk about must games in week 2. The Vikes in Detroit, both 0-1.
There's 15 games to go. Gee.
Whoa. 0-2, do you realize teams that are 0-2, only something like 13% of them have ever reached the playoffs that have started 0-2.
Okay, Ziggy. I got you. Okay.
There you are.
All right, buddy.
All right.
You remember Ziggy?
Yeah.
A little handheld thing that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I like that thing.
Anything else, sir?
Let's see. I think we exhausted most everything around here. Yeah?
I think it's home.
We got
I
2 minutes
think
left. Okay.
Andy, we aren't on a time frame. We go till our material's out. I believe it's homecoming at Waseca and New Richland this week.
Okay. So the Panthers.
Waterville's was last week. JWP,
I'm not
are they
sure.
on the road?
Well,
Or
see,
are
they
home?
got BA at home, so maybe it's their homecoming
Yeah,
also.
I think it is. I think it's 3 homecomings this week.
Okay.
So, get out and do your thing.
You got anything you want to get off your chest?
Not a thing.
Andy, you got anything?
That's it.
Really?
After you said the homecoming queen was ugly, and then Cookie brings up homecoming.
That's it.
No, I think the train situation has to be addressed in Waseca. Okay? As a
Okay,
person, when I first moved to town about 40 years ago, and they said, if you're ever late for anything, tell them there's a train. Well, this morning, unfortunately for you people out there, this is showing late. Okay, you don't know it, but okay, it is. And I got stopped by a train. So as long as you know how to get around Waseca, thank goodness there's a place, the Southern Experiment Station. You go under the trestle there, and you come flying up. In the old days, you go through the college campus. Now you got to go around the prison. It's unbelievable. So city founders, please get together, council people, and do something about the train station. Maybe build an overpass, build an underpass. I don't care, but just some way we can get through the city. Because they can try out that tracks there for a half hour legally, and that's just not right. Okay, I got that off my chest.
But he made it.
I made it, yeah. But the show was late because of that.
dedication.
Zucchini bread.
Okay, yeah, that was good stuff.
That'll do it for this week's show. Thanks to Steve and Hudson Anderson for producing the show.
And it's not too early for pumpkins. Okay?
Not too early for pumpkins. Thanks to my right-hand man, Teddy Hammond. And thanks to you for all watching. We'll see you next week. Go Blue Jays!